Hello, and welcome to another episode of Long Distant Situationship. Me, I'm Michael, joined by my cohorts, Danimal and Kyle El Caliente.
What's up, guys? And I'm here to introduce today's special guest, Mr. Director Dylan Cole-Black, member of Dead End Filmhouse. He's got a movie that we're going to be talking about. He's an all-around great guy and indie horror filmmaker, a close friend of mine, somebody that I've worked with on our movie Terms and Conditions. That is my face, yes. He co-directed it with me. And all-around great guy. So he's here joining us today.
How we doing?
But hey, to get us started, the first thing that I know we just need to get off our chests, because we've all seen it, and now that we're caught up, I'm dying to talk about it. Stranger Things Part 1 dropped. And I want to present this to the table. I mean, what'd you guys think? It's been a long time coming. I'm a huge Stranger Things fan. I've got a lot of thoughts, but I wanted to pass around too. And actually, why don't you start us off?
I walked into your house saying, is it kind of mids compared to the other seasons?
A little bit.
It's not bad, but there's just something not fully connecting for me. That's not to say I didn't eat it up immediately.
Right.
Watched all of it.
It's got these moments where, the first, we're just going to straight up be dropping spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, this is your warning. It's got, the moment the first Demogorgon comes in, and it just wrecks, an entire military convoy, and then it struggles to get, a 9-year-old, and gets slowed up by freaking Ted and Karen Wheeler. What? It's just got moments like that where the internal consistency just completely falls apart. And, it's fun, and I enjoy having the characters back, but it definitely, like you're saying, there's moments where it's this doesn't live up to the quality that's been set in previous seasons, I don't think.
Yeah, I was texting Mike about what he was just saying. It feels like they're almost throttling the Demogorgon in general, or even just the bad guys. Is any third-rate character probably would have been obliterated in half the scenarios that the main characters were caught in, but they just weren't because the Demogorgon just didn't feel like it or just didn't do what it was supposed to do. And I'm like, okay, it doesn't feel believable, but I understand it's a plot device thing. So it was a bit of a turnoff in some portions, but I think overall, I mean, I still enjoyed it.
Absolutely. It was still fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the next chunk, but I would not rate it overly high in my rankings so far.
I mean,
Eleven's exercise regimen in the first episode made me think of that scene in Hot Rod when he is smoking and drinking in the woods and he's all upset.
All we were missing was a big dance sequence alone in the woods, angry dancing. I'm loving all of it. I really do like it. It's
It is awesome. It is
coming
really
off
good.
season 4, every single episode was a finale level event. And so there's almost this I just rewatched season 4 with Kayleen, and every episode is so big. They're all an hour, 40 minutes long. Mm-hmm. It's you're watching a feature-length film in every single episode. And this season 5 is just not hitting those same peaks. Mm-hmm. I do got to say, I am so glad to finally see Will not be a bitch and he's coming into his own. For 4 seasons, this dude has either been the victim or just sadly gazing at Mike from afar. And finally, he's a badass. Even before Powers was a badass. I'm glad to see that growth.
It's the queer agenda coming in hot.
What do you think? I mean, you just binged all of the show, and now you're in season 5.
I binged it all at once.
All of it?
Yes.
That's no
We've done,
Whoa.
the past 3 weeks, we've done a non-stop Stranger Things binge. It's been overwhelming, to say the least. But what do you think?
About the queer agenda?
No, season 5.
I think season 5 is going okay so far. There's a lot of pieces, as always, but they're all very close together, which I think makes it harder, for us to follow. When it was oh, they're off in this place, and then they're off in California. The last season was so spread out in different locations that it was really fun to jump around. But right now, I'm just annoyed jumping around from each group of people. Does that make sense? It's okay, they're in the upside down, they're in the upside down, now they're not in the upside down. It just is, there's a lot of moving parts here. Mm-hmm. But I'm excited that Will, spoilers, I'm excited that Will all of a sudden can do all these things. And I'm where's this been, bitch?
Yeah, he finally showed up, which is cool, and unfortunately Dustin kind of sucks. So it's like
Yeah.
a trade-off.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think he's like he's going through his grief era.
A little bit, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I do like that Dustin's kind of like coming into his Eddie phase, you know? Eddie was just so anti any society, anti the rules. Yes, there's a lot more anger behind it, but
He promised Eddie he would be that guy.
well, he promised Eddie he'd look after the crew.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been. He really hasn't
No.
been. But I do like this arc for him. Dustin's been one of my favorite characters of the whole show, and I'm very okay with him going through this angry phase of rebellion. I think it's fun to explore the character in a different way.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is the
I just-
dialogue a little cheesier this season to you guys? Like the bully coming in and being like, "Hey, pipsqueak."
He must have said "suck a big one" like 7 times in like 30
Yeah.
seconds.
It's just a little more Riverdale-y in some of its.
I think what you don't realize is it's all been Riverdale-y. But like,
But watching them be grown adults saying that stuff's different than watching them be like 11 years old and saying that stuff, and you're like, I believe it when you're 11.
I did really love like the radio show entrance. Like that was really fire.
I'm not gonna lie. I watched it and I leaned over to the crew and I was like, does she remind you of Kayleen? Like, is it just me?
I get
I
this
said,
a lot.
I said the same thing when I was watching it.
It's the queer agenda.
Yeah, I mean, I love the cohesion between our group. I love the way that we have evolved as a team and we're working together on everything. I'm just not feeling the stakes as much. I feel like the stakes should be higher than ever. And for being 4 episodes in, I feel like episode 4 was the first time I really felt the stakes of what should be.
You at least feel it by the end. I was like, okay,
So I'm
something's
like, I guess I
happening
don't know what they're trying to do other than get Vecna.
Yeah.
Also, I love the Max situation. I like all the imagery around A Wrinkle in Time. Kyle was being a piece of shit to me because I was like, do you see that book? That's A Wrinkle in Time. I want to tell you what it's about. And he was like, just watch it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, it's going to be important to the story. And he was like, well, if it's going to be important, we'll see. And I was like, well, okay, never mind then. Let's not be critically thinking while we watch TV. It's fine.
Well, to be
And
fair,
then I looked at
Wait,
him
what
and
did
they
you
were
want him to do? Pause it and take the standard Kyle 7 months to read a story and then get back to Stranger Things? Like, we got a podcast to do.
No, I was going to give him a rundown of what it's about because it was one of my favorite books as a kid.
you weren't going to. You paused the show and looked up A Wrinkle in Time and started reading the Wikipedia description of the book.
I was explaining.
And it's like, has nothing to do with Stranger Things.
No, that's
And
not true.
I said,
Holly just said it.
yes.
Shut up. Don't say that to me. Don't say it has nothing to do with it. It has been a thematically like relevant thing this entire time.
It
They're
has.
talking about Camazons right now.
I know.
Max and Holly. Shut up.
My point was that they explained the relevance as the show went on. Luckily, I got the full rundown while the show was paused ahead of time.
Well, I thought you cared. It was one of my favorite books.
I'm grateful.
It's
Thank
fine.
you. Well, you've done it now, guys. God damn it. Let's move on.
That feeling? Someone is just out of sight? Watching you? That's innate in all of us.
David.
What?
That trailer's crazy.
We're keeping that, by the way. That's how this segment starts. So thank you for that. All right, yeah. So we are talking Nemesis. We got the writer and director, Mr. Dylan Cole Black, joining us.
The lead.
Actor and lead actor. Dan, you figured that out way too late, as I recall.
Yeah, I had to see it through an Instagram story because I didn't see the credits. And I saw Kyle's story, and I'm like, wait a second, I just saw this dude like 3 days ago. Like, where have I seen this man before? Yeah.
Yeah,
There he is.
I assumed it. I was like, oh, that's got to be him. And then I was like, wait a minute, I don't know that that's him. And then the credits rolled on the second watch, and I was like, oh, there we go, we're good.
Yep.
But do you want to pitch us this movie? If for those of us who skip the ads.
Yeah, sure. Nemesis is a psychological thriller that is focused on a man in therapy who believes that he's being stalked by a mysterious masked figure from his past. It's very like Hitchcock inspired, very like Twilight Zone, 1950s in general, and early 60s were a big inspiration for this movie. But also it's a little meaner, and it's a little meaner than the 50s and 60s. So definitely kind of bridged the gap between things like Alfred Hitchcock and like, I don't know, like Lars von Trier's like super horrible, mean stuff.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah, it was still open on my phone at one point. Like I had restarted it, just like I think I opened it just to like look something up in the description, and then I closed my phone, and then I reopened my phone like in public, and it's just the girl with the bag over her face. And I was like, no, little uncomfortable.
I sat there when it played at festivals. I sat there like during the blocks waiting for it to start. Like I'm watching all these other short films, and some of them are like really uplifting and nice, and then some are like dramas, and then some are scary. But then out of nowhere, I'm like, all right,
Here we go.
that in Filmhouse logo comes up, and then it's a woman being suffocated with a plastic bag, and I was like, I really hope people don't judge me. I hope people don't think I like doing this.
Right.
You sit on it too. It's not like a quick thing.
No,
You're
it's-
gonna make them watch.
It's making you watch her die in the opening shot.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a good chunk of the runtime before you even dropped the title card, and it was really cool.
I'm a fan of the late title card.
Predator Badlands had that, and
That when I almost forgot there hadn't been a title card
you're
yet,
right.
and then when it happened, I was like, ah! Predator!
Yeah, that was literally the first time I think I'd seen a late title card, and I was like, I like this, and then that dropped, and I was like, that's 2 in like a couple weeks. But yeah, so what was the black and white? I'm curious on that. Was that a stylistic choice, or was that just okay?
I also had that question.
There was a point in time where like I had considered doing all of the like therapy in black and white and then the flashbacks in color.
Mhm.
There was a point where I considered flip-flop, the therapy in color, the flashbacks in black and white. But the more that I leaned into like the story as well as like just the, emulating certain thriller styles that I liked, I mean I watched so much old cinema that I was like, I'd love to do something in black and white and shoot it for black and white. Because like we'd made something in the past where the color grade got messed up. We used like it was real early on in making stuff, and we used 2 different cameras, like an A cam and a B cam, and they just didn't match up well in the color grade. So we were like, what if we put it in black and white? And it looked way better in black and white. But I was like, man, I'd love to intentionally shoot something.
Right.
So that was a lot of fun to get to go, all right, we can, use these colors here to get this look or whatever.
Yeah. Were you able to do like the Hitchcock thing where you're able to use like Hershey syrup for blood?
We could have, but I just, I love blood. I had my blood guy bring a 5-gallon bucket full of it, so.
You have a blood guy?
So this movie, it's not overly violent in its like actions, but there's like aftermath violence, and like when you see Kyle dead on the floor in that opening shot when all the bodies are like in a ring, his intestines are strung out onto the floor. There's a few people with like guts hanging out because my blood guy is like, yeah, I threw some intestines in there, and like there's a severed head. It's just like a mannequin head, but like if you're not too close up, it'll look really cool. And I was like, sweet, I just needed blood, but like I'll use
take it.
guts too. Might as well.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, that was my first day. First day was the second day on set. Either way, I was on set, and bucket of blood comes out, and there's just like there was like a severed hand in there, intestines. It's like a bucket of
there
red,
were 3 hands,
and it's just full of all these goopy things. And let me tell you, me being the dead body that had his guts coming out was disgusting. Like that blood, and you're like, so you have to cut a hole in your shirt and then put it against your like stomach,
Feels
which
all
is
slimy.
so vulnerable. Yeah, it's all slimy. And then you just gotta sit, like, you gotta make it look convincing. So you gotta get it in there. And that was some of the most uncomfortable moments I've ever been on a set.
You know,
Right?
and
That was
some
gross.
people can get real freaked out by that. Like I was in a movie one time where I was in it, and I played the slasher. And there was a guy that I like hit with an axe, and they put like a prosthetic axe wound there, and he's chill. He's kind of a tough guy. He's sitting there, and out of nowhere, he looks down, and he was like, and we were like, whoa, don't look at it.
That's crazy that even fake blood can do that to people.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's like it looked like he had a full blown like gash in his shoulder, and is like, my brain is recognizing actual flesh wound, and he was like all lightheaded. It was funny. It was funny to me.
I want to know, like, director to director, do you already have all of your shots and your edits figured out ahead of time, or do you go film with a bunch of angles and then figure out the edit after the fact?
It depends on the movie, and sometimes it depends on the scene. Like, there are some scenes. So there's a scene that's a oneer in Nemesis. I didn't storyboard the oneer, but I planned the oneer out in movements. So like I draw everything. So most of the time, yeah. So like the current one we have in production, I drew the whole movie as storyboarded and shot listed. So you can watch the edit basically in the storyboards, and you can see the coverage you need and whatnot. Usually we make that as the main coverage, and then if we have time for like smaller bits, like to have fun, we do that. And we've gotten a lot better with our efficiency that we've been able to do that. There was, on the last shoot we had for this movie, there's a shot where this little girl like points up, and it was kind of a wide shot, but we had more time. So I was like, I want to get a close up in her creepy little fingers, like real close to the camera. We were able to get extra stuff. So it's like storyboard and plan for what matters the most, and then get the things that you want if you have time. So Nemesis, I storyboarded some of the scenes. I didn't storyboard the therapy because it's pretty simple. It's covered. Two people talking back and forth. But like I storyboarded the scene where he's at his house before he runs down the hall. But when he's like going down the hall and the camera moves with him, that was a oneer that I drew as like a top down like floor plan of the house, and then I drew each movement in a different color code. So like movement 1 is in green. So camera, you're going to move here on green. That's movement 1. Now movement 2 is orange. You're going to move down here on orange. And then we're pink. You're going to move here, and then we'll take blue. That's your spin. So each movement's a different color. And then we didn't have to storyboard anything.
Yeah.
We went in there. We, walked through that plan, and then it was like, boom. And then, I mean, we did like 11 takes of the oneer because
You only get one.
they kept, you only get one. We knocked it out of the fucking park on the first take.
Okay.
But there was a tiny little thing that was like, it could be a little better. 11 takes later.
Oh my God.
Because
Did you use the first take?
No, we ended up using the 11th. But every take between the first and the 11th, there's when he goes, because the camera like comes out the back door, and he like stands at his back door. That was kind of a tough step to go down, and the cameraman was we weren't on a dolly or anything. This was just like handheld shoulder mount, and he's walking backward. And so we had someone guiding him, but still going down that step, he would like, ooh. And it was like, so finally on the 11th, we were like, that's good. We got it. It's smooth.
Nice. Wow, that's actually really funny. Yeah. Because that'll break your immersion immediately when you see a cameraman trip.
Yep. Now, speaking of that oneer, the house that you did it at, was that like forest stuff in that back hallway? Was that just already there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I was wondering about that.
so this was the house was belonged to a filmmaker friend of mine. His name's Wes Davis, and he's a great filmmaker. His wife is very creative and huge decorator. So like any holiday is around, she has decked their house out. And this was, I think it was just like springtime. There wasn't a big holiday happening, but she was doing some foresty thing. And he had like we had scheduled this day to film in his house, because his house hasn't been remodeled since it was built in the 70s. And I was like, I want something that looks so weirdly kind of outdated. And so he was like, yeah. So we get over there, and he was like, I didn't even notice my wife had put this stuff up. And I was like,
It's kind of
It's
awesome, though.
I was like, it's fine. And he was like, are you sure? It's weird. And I was like, exactly. People are gonna say it's weird. So we just left it.
That's awesome. That's what I love about, like, indie guerrilla filmmaking, sometimes like the stuff that just happens to be there influences the final piece in a really positive way.
Well, like in The Inhabitants, we just found that skull in the river, animal skull.
Oh, yes. Yeah, and we're like, can somebody jump on this? Let's just crush the skull. We got one shot.
Yep.
We can only do it once. But like, yeah, that's what, you know, when you have infinite resources, you make everything perfect. When you don't, those imperfections actually really elevate your project a lot of the time. I love that.
Well, and those so like the script never calls for taxidermy. There's no taxidermy in the script.
No way. It
So
felt
we're-
so intentional.
So intentional. And like, especially if you read about like the symbolism of a giraffe and stuff, and like
Whoa.
it's very interesting that that's what I was like sitting in front of. And we found that in such a weird way. Like, I was looking for an office, at like a therapy office, to film this in. We used to have like a studio office, and we were going to film it in there, but we ended up moving out of there because it just didn't serve a big purpose to us. So we moved out of that office. We were like, all right, let's find another spot. A therapy office should be fine. Pretty easy. You could turn a living room into that. So we asked around, not really finding anything. And then Skylar, who's one of the members of Dead End, he is the majority, not the majority, like 50% of the time you see the Nemesis in the mask, it's Skylar. So he was like, my best friend's aunt, she works from home and her office is kind of nice. And I was like, okay, yeah, see if she'll send us pictures. So she did. And I was like, I don't like that office at all. But there was this big ass like grizzly bear rug on the floor. And I was like, dang, where'd they get that rug though? And he goes, oh, you should see their living room. And he sends me a picture. and it was that. It's like a living room foyer area, and there's this giraffe head. And there's a chimp. And like there's animals we didn't put in the movie. There's the warthog made it in for like half a second at the end, but there was like all of these rare deer and like antelope and stuff. They're like big game hunters. Whoa. And I was like, I don't fuck with that. But like,
as long as it's already there.
I didn't kill the giraffe. It's gonna be dead no matter what. So. Might as well put it in a movie.
Yeah, big time, dude.
And so I was like, yeah, let's do it, because, you know, a big inspiration for the movie was Alfred Hitchcock's work in general, but Psycho is one of my favorite movies, and the taxidermy in that, you know, in the hotel lobby during the like we all go mad sometimes scene is so interesting that I was like, it'd be really fun to kind of pay homage to that without it being like an owl and looking exactly the same, but being, you know, similar. And it was like, might as well. When else are we going to get to use a taxidermy giraffe head in a movie?
Right.
Those things ain't cheap. Yeah.
Brand new sentences for 200.
Telling people the entire budget of the movie went towards me killing that giraffe.
There you go.
Stuffing
There
it,
you go.
having it shipped back over,
Exactly, but that was my
The behind the scenes are going to be wild.
man. Just me in the Serengeti with a rifle.
I want to know, directing and acting can be a difficult thing. Was it tough for you to be behind the camera, but also sit as, you know, the main character of this? And I guess in that process, are you directing yourself? Do you just trust yourself as an actor? Do you have somebody there to help like guide and like navigate what is working and what isn't? Like, how do you, you know, prepare and navigate that?
It is complicated. I had not directed and acted before. Usually when I direct, I don't want to be in it. But I hadn't gotten a role acting in a while, and I knew Nemesis was going to kind of take a while to film because there were so many scenes in different locations. It was like, I don't know who I'm going to nail down that's going to want to do this. Like all these tiny filmings across a couple of months or whatever. So I did it. But I had to take it a step at a time. You can't just dive straight in as both director and actor. I had to, you know, because I wrote the script, and then I had to approach it as a director from the like pre-production standpoint and get these things storyboarded, get these things planned out, get these locations figured out, all of this stuff, develop a look, everything, and then step away from that for like a week and reapproach this. I didn't read the script again for like 2 months after I wrote it. because I was like, I'm gonna have to reapproach this as an actor, and I don't want to know every line that way,
Mm.
like I wrote it. So I reapproached it as an actor, and I took some advice from an actor friend of mine who told me that when he was on a series a couple of years ago, that he kept a journal as the character he was playing, um, and he would write journal entries as this character. And this character he played was based on a real person, so he read every book that person wrote, and so he was like, at that point, I finally, I felt like I could speak as that person. And so I wanted to be able to feel that way for Nemesis. Was I don't just want to say the lines I wrote on the page the way that I was seeing them some way in this like writing frenzy, but instead like approach it as, how does this make me feel? If I were this person stepping into these shoes, what do these stories mean to me? So I wrote like journal entries, like the stories he tells about the different stalking incidents. I wrote those down as journal entries in a diary, but not like line for line how it is in the script. I wrote it down as if like I was at work today, and when I got out of my car, I saw this, and then, but they were much longer. I talked about my lunch break. I talked about someone else I talked to at work, and it was just padding out that whole idea that when I was there on set, cameras rolling, doing those lines, I wasn't recalling the line. I was recalling the memory that I created. But it takes time. You have to have time to be able to do that. If it was a rush production, I wouldn't be able to do that. Or if I hadn't have just had good advice from good friends, I wouldn't have known to do that. But it helped a lot. Not always easy, but as far as directing myself goes, me and Linda, the woman who plays Dr. Stafford, we filmed that whole therapy sequence in single takes. So it's 14 minutes of talking from the beginning to like standing up with the knife. It was 14 minutes of dialogue, and we rehearsed it. We got together 5 times and rehearsed it kind of like a play. We would do it. We would run through the entire script. Probably, I cut a version of the script that was therapy scenes only, and then we sat down with that script and we would rehearse it 2 or 3 times. I would give notes. I would ask her for notes because she's an actor that I trust, and I didn't want to be just like, I'm directing you. Everything I do is great. I took notes from her. I took script notes from friends that I sent the script off to. Like, does this work? And some of the things that I wrote in the script come out sounding very strange, but it just makes the character weirder. And it I think elevated it that he talks in such a strange way. But it definitely there were phases to getting it made. Rehearsal, that was the most rehearsal we'd ever done for anything.
And kind of building off of everything that you just said, like I really enjoyed this character, the Nemesis killer. Like the whole therapy sequence going on earlier where they subtly build up, he's a perfectionist, he has to be the best at his craft, and you subtly transition to like, oh, this is the guy. Like he genuinely thinks he is the best killer that there is.
Mm-hmm.
I just really enjoyed how all that unfolded. But I gotta ask, like, how did you develop this character? Did you take inspiration from serial killers in other movies? Did you take inspiration from real serial killers?
Yeah.
Like, what was your thought process with it?
There was, there was a lot actually. The character something I laid right off the bat was it. Even though there's a lot of reference to like Psycho in this film, the biggest crux of Psycho, the biggest thing to understand about Norman Bates is that he doesn't know that he's a murderer. Norman Bates is a good guy. It's what's in here that's fucked up. David in Nemesis knows full well that he's a psychotic, but he just doesn't think that he's mentally unstable. He knows full well that he's violent, but that doesn't mean he's going to see things that aren't there. He thinks too highly of himself. So, I mean, there was a lot of inspiration I took from like the egomania of people like the BTK, who genuinely considered himself so poetic. It was I think David, the character in Nemesis, I think David's an idiot. I really do. I think he's a pseudo intellectual. I think he's a misogynist, and I think that he is not as smart as he likes to present himself as. And I think that that's where a lot of his frustration in life comes from, which, you know, I was inspiration from people like BTK, who really, a lot of serial killers they're not evil masterminds. They're guys that failed in school. They come from very dysfunctional places, and just like he says in the script, you know, he doesn't piss his bed sheets, he doesn't kill hookers. But the reality is the majority of serial killers are like that, and the reality is David probably did do stuff like that and doesn't want to tell the truth. That was a thing with that character is I'm like, not everything this character says is going to be true, because not someone like this isn't going to admit the full truth, even if they know they have immunity, because there are things they want to keep to themselves no matter what. Yeah, it was a tough one to nail down, because I didn't want it to be too much like something else or too much like a real thing. There was inspired by Black Christmas. If y'all ever seen Black Christmas, one of the best horror films of the 70s, it's really scary because it's not a masked killer slasher. It caused a big stir when it came out in the 70s because Ted Bundy was still on the loose, and it's about a guy that breaks into a college sorority house and starts killing people off. And one of the people he kills with a plastic bag, which is where a big inspiration came from. I don't know. I wanted with the character to find a fine line between like how the kind of sad reality of people who are serial killers, as well as the almost like fantasy they see about themselselves. And so I tried to really play both sides of it when I was in costume, a completely different physicality and different, that they really are two opposite sides of himself warring with each other.
Yeah, you could really see that represented with like it was like very prim and proper when he's David, but when he's the Nemesis, there's almost this animalistic, like the shout when he got that one guy on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed that actually.
That was improv. That was like the fifth take. And they were like,
"Oh, really?
You don't look angry enough." And I was like, I mean, all right. So we go again, and I hit him, and then I was like, I just screamed in his face, and everyone was like, oh. But I was like, that felt good. Let's do it again.
I like it.
Something I learned is that dragging bodies across the floor, not easy, man.
No, not as easy as it looked. I learned that on one of Kyle's sets. They were like, all right, you drag this body. I was like, okay. What if two of us drag this body?
Yeah, and that opening shot's a oneer as well. It's about a minute and a half long, and I think we got 5-6 takes of it. So I dragged my friend Allie across the house after pretending to kill her and pushing her out of a chair. That was something really interesting that I learned that I had not really experienced, was just something I realized, especially with future projects, when I do like a bigger film, especially a more violent film, an intimacy coordinator for violent scenes, it would be very important, because there is a very, very close level of intimacy in violence, which sounds horrible, but there is. I mean, I sat there with my face against the back of her head,
Right.
And we're fighting, and I mean, it's she could breathe, but I told her, stop thinking you're going to hurt me by slapping at my head. That mask was it was a hard shell. Mm-hmm. And I was like, fucking fight me. Like, try to get me to stop and fight it. And she was like, okay. And she did. And that felt awful. Felt horrible. And there really is we were able to do that because we're close friends, but I can't imagine like having two actors come in that don't know each other and be like, now perform this very intimate murder. It's like there is a level of like trust and comfortability you have to have with each other.
Yeah.
That it was just like something that had never crossed my mind until it was happening. And I was like, wow, this is actually weirdly like kind of a hard thing to do.
Interesting.
Now, something I love, and if you go way back in the annals of this podcast on his previous channel, you'll see glimpses of it. I love stories that make you tell more of the story in the back of your head as you're thinking about the story. It's one of my favorite things, and I'll try not to spoil the end. But at the end, when the Nemesis killer takes off their mask, and you find out who's been behind the mask. I wondered a lot about how did this person track David down and figure out this this person who was just wearing a mask, and now I have their identity. Did she crack David's letters that he left for the police? Did you?
People keep asking me about the end and asking me to answer questions, and I'm like, I don't know if you want the answer.
Well, I mean, you don't have to answer it. That's my working theory right now. And I mean, I've written stories where I left it intentionally ambiguous, and it's one of my favorite things to watch people be like, "It's this, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Okay.
Yeah. She cracked the letters.
Yeah.
There is one definitive truth in that story, but I don't tell anyone what it is.
Wow.
I love it.
At least you know.
Oh, I know. I knew it before I even wrote the script. The idea came about as sometimes ideas just come as images, you know? And I was seeing a story. Sometimes I know these images, they may be different, but I know they all belong in the same story. I was seeing the end of a slasher film being the beginning of a film. Like a girl fighting, all of the other friends are dead, and the slasher is playing with his food, basically.
Yeah.
I saw that. And ending with her dying. I saw images of a guy in therapy. I didn't know who the guy was, but a guy in therapy afraid he's being stalked by that same killer. And then I saw the end of the movie in my head, which originally didn't have the car stuff. There was a confrontation that took place inside of the house. So the original ending of the movie was the mask comes off and she's there and jabs the knife into his chest, and then the camera would be like overhead, like kind of tilt overhead as he falls backward onto the floor, and then kind of come up and you see him bleeding out on the floor in his living room alone in his house. I saw these like images, but I didn't know how they all connected until it finally started to weave this thread of like, well, why would this guy in therapy be scared of a slasher? What would this slasher have to do with him if he wasn't in that other scene? And then, the idea of there was that image of the mask being pulled off and the reveal of like the younger self was there, and I don't know, it all came together eventually. But it was kind of a complicated story. It's very non-linear, very strange. And I've had a lot of people have different interpretations of the ending and what really happens in it, which I love that.
I agree. That's one of the best ways you can end it. I mean, like, it can be hard to stick an ending because, sometimes it'll land with people and sometimes it won't. So why not just let them write it,
I wanted to ask you guys if you spotted my cameos in there.
I got two.
Right.
Let's see. I got you as a corpse.
Did you catch that one?
In the beginning. Yep. Actually, I didn't catch it on my first watch, but then I thought about it and I was like, he was one of the dead bodies. And so on the second watch, I was like, yep, there he is. And then Dylan holds the door for you.
Yes.
That was your first day on set because I had just met you like a week prior.
Exactly.
You drove all the way there, dude.
Just and if you spot it, I'm also a guy in the hallway behind him, right? Like walking behind him up the hallway.
Well, that shot's not in the movie.
I forgot.
Yeah, we got a little extra footage.
Okay.
We got footage of David walking down the hall in the office, and he gets on an elevator with like a couple other people. One of them was Kyle, and then one of them was Skylar, who played the villain of our last movie that starred Kayleen. Never forget.
You can see it on YouTube.
I was gonna throw a shout out as well. Dylan's last movie before this is called Ghost, which stars Kayleen. So for the fans asking
Stars
for more
Kayleen, and the severed hands that were in the 5-gallon bucket of blood were actually molds of the main actor in that movie, because in that movie he gets stabbed in the hand And so, you know, the knife goes through. So we made molds of his hand.
Yeah.
And the guy had like, my blood guy had like 3 extra hands. And just, it had been nearly a year since we shot that, but he still had them. So he just threw them in the bucket. And I was like, oh, it's Clayton's hand. Yeah, we've got a few Clayton hands laying around somewhere.
Yeah.
Were there other corpses that cameoed throughout? Because there's definitely other moments where there's people kind of Hill House style in the background.
The only person that appears in the background Hill House style is the girl at the beginning who gets hit by the car.
Gotcha.
She's the one if you notice her in the living room when I'm
When you're
watching
the movie.
And then in the oneer, she walks by. We originally were going to have her in a couple other scenes like that, but scheduling just didn't work out for that actor to be there. But,
When I saw Kyle, I was like, are all of them going to appear as ghosts? It started
No,
to
that
sound
was
like
just-
Kyle
that
was
was
just a
just
logistical option.
Yes, exactly.
That definitely would have been a great thing. That was something I considered at one point. One of the big inspirations, not biggest inspiration, but something I took some stuff from was Maniac, a movie from the 80s. It's really nasty as all hell, and it ends with, y'all know what Maniac's about? Maniac's about a serial killer. He scalps women, and he keeps their scalps on mannequins in his house. End of the movie, he's laying in bed. It's very ambiguous, but incredible ending. He's laying in bed, and you like feel something move, and he like looks up, and all the mannequins, they look a little weird, and then it's real dark, and you know they start to step forward, and they're not mannequins anymore. It's the girls that he killed, and they all encroach his bed and surround him and pull him into pieces as he like screams, and they pull him to death. Whoa. And so there was some like at one point, especially after you did both, I was like, man, I kind of want to throw more of the victims throughout this movie, but I didn't.
Okay. So I do kind of want to steer this into what you have going on next, because we have a big shoot this weekend that you're directing.
Yep. We've got the new one. It is not as long as Nemesis. That was the fatal flaw with Nemesis, and I knew that when I wrote it, was that it was too long.
I liked it. I liked that it was like an episode length.
I really enjoy doing something that long. I'd love to do some more long form things, but when you're trying to get into like festivals and like I want to make something that like I can present kind of packaged neatly over the next year to put into festivals that kind of, you know, is one, a good movie, but two, you know, a good portfolio. And when it's, you know, around 10 minutes long, its chances to be in a festival skyrocket by a bazillion %. Because no one's going to program a 24-minute movie into a short film block.
Yeah,
because
festivals are weird that way, though.
They're like, why would I put a good 24-minute film in when I could put, you know,
3 8-minute films
in that rock?
Yep.
And it's like, exactly. So I wanted to do something shorter. So this one's called Absolution. It's taken my swing at like demonic religious horror. It's about a priest. And
it's fucked up. It's really fucked up.
You guys hate, dude.
It's something I would never watch. Like I would never turn this on. But I'm in it.
Dude,
I'm going to be a demon this weekend.
There's a pretty good chance that it's going to be good then, because Kyle's kind of squeamish about those things.
Oh yeah, Eli was like, I hate this. I hate this. And I was like, I'm so glad. I said, my biggest goal is that audiences watch this movie and they go home and they like feel the need to like read the Bible because they're too scared. That's what happened to me when I was telling Eli, I said, when I saw Paranormal Activity 2, like in high school or whatever, I went home, I was so scared that I read the Bible for like an hour. Didn't help, because I was like, the movie still exists!
Hola señores y señores, bienvenidos a la parte del show que se llama Publicidad Obligatoria. ¿Qué es eso de Asís? Bueno, yo te digo, ¿estás buscando algo más explosivo en tu vida? ¿Algo más divertido? Bueno, yo te digo, jódete porque no tengo eso. En realidad, no tenemos nada para vender en este momento porque no tenemos propaganda. Pero si querés gastar plata en algo A lo mejor puedes comprar una piedra. Sí, yo te dejo un link para una piedra en el bio. Bueno, chicos, ahora es tiempo para devolvernos al show. Hasta la próxima.
All right, we are back, and we are going to do a little bit of horror trivia. Dylan has some questions for us. I won't tell you how many because I'm going to edit out all the ones I get wrong. And Kayleen is here, and she's got a punishment.
Oh my god.
A sneaky snake.
Egg. So anyway, she's got a punishment for us. We don't know what it is yet, but she's very excited to share.
Do we get to learn before, or are we going to learn after we lose? I kind of think the mystery makes it scarier.
I think it
makes it real scary.
Like,
Actually.
legitimately, I wasn't nervous all day, and now I'm like,
Here's how the game
Hereditary.
works.
What movie?
Dylan is going to ask the question. The boys are then going to write their answer. Then when everyone's done writing after 30 seconds or less, then we will reveal our answers. Whoever gets it wrong is on the list of possible losers.
Thanks, baby.
That's great.
Oh, we
great
need you to
rules.
come in there, yeah. All right, let's do it.
All
Question
right,
one.
let's go with it. Start with an evil one. The name of the book.
Don't look.
There's the answers aren't written down. It's only
Okay,
questions.
there
The
we go.
answers are written in here. What is the name of the book in the Evil Dead franchise?
Oh, I know this.
This is elementary, Kyle.
Yes, I know.
Copyright. All right. About 20 seconds left, boys.
don't worry, we're going to edit this part to be quick. Nobody wants to watch us just sit here and suffer. Well, not unless it's more visually appealing. You quit
5,
whispering, Kyle.
4,
No,
Three,
I'm trying to find
2,
the...
1, 0. Show us your answers.
Are you serious?
Book of the Dead.
Oh, how's yours right way? Why is mine backwards? This is Book of the
Strike
Dead.
1 for Michael.
That's a strike one for
But
all of you guys.
all of us, yeah.
The Necronomicon.
Oh,
Come on,
shucks.
from the man who writes Necromancers. Come on.
They don't know that.
Me and Kyle are on
Well,
the
you didn't
Necronomicon.
ask Dylan enough questions.
Oh my god.
All right,
Okay.
all of you are in the shit list here.
Let's go a little easier, I guess. How many movies does Jason Voorhees appear in?
Okay.
Ooh, these are good questions, Dylan.
The existence of Jason X is making this extra difficult.
You should consider it easier with Jason X.
Well, that's... I'm like...
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually that
Just that look does it all. All right, you got 15 seconds left, boys.
Fuck. Has there been?
many. Screw it.
There hasn't been a remake
10.
recently, has there?
9, 8,
Okay.
6, 5, 3, 2, 1, 0. Time's up.
Fuck. I can't say my light. This is 12.
You win.
Yes! Because Jason
Friday the-
X...
Jason X is the 10th.
10. Okay,
And then, there's,
10.
and then there's Freddy versus Jason.
Yes!
And then there's the remake.
Yes!
Kyle, you are back to 0. Everyone else is at -2.
I don't like the scoring system one bit.
This one, I don't know if any of you guys are going to get this due to a conversation we had earlier, so maybe there's a hint.
Okay.
Which classic horror film was directed by the man who made A Christmas Story?
Oh.
I love that these are just in your head, Dylan.
Fun fact, this was also the last horror movie he ever made. He was like, that's not for me. That makes me feel bad. And then he went on to make A Christmas Story. He made Baby Geniuses. I'm not asking for the director's name, I'm asking for the movie.
Doesn't change my answer.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Show us the money.
Rosemary's Baby.
Dang. Man, the guy that made A Christmas Story made
Black Christmas.
Black Christmas.
Wait, you went both ways on Christmas?
Yeah, he made Black Christmas, and then 9 years later made A Christmas Story.
That's
Dang
actually
it.
pretty crazy.
Stern's
Okay,
right
well,
first.
looks like you all
Did
got
I
first
said it
up.
before. I'm just saying. I said it out loud before he said it.
All right.
That'd be worth like a quarter of a point, right?
You're at -3, Michael.
That's what I wrote.
You're gonna have to reach back into your mind for this one because you
Okay.
love new movies, and this isn't a new movie. Which role was Boris Karloff most famous for? This is a low ball, man. Do you know?
Boris Karloff?
I think I
Really?
know
The
this one.
role itself? Boris Karloff.
The really
played-
frustrating thing is there's like multiple answers that I like.
Technically, there's two really iconic, but there's one I would say takes the biggest cake.
Yeah, I just feel like there's like
Oh,
a decent
oh.
chunk from that era that I'm
Oh,
gonna feel like an
okay.
idiot
I could-
if I get the right era but the wrong character.
Dylan gave you a hint.
Dan's got a big old smile on his face.
Dylan gave you a
She's not confident, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Did you not realize you gave him a hint?
What did I say? That's really
Go with
funny.
that.
You said you might like new movies.
Oh yeah.
This isn't a new movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that
yeah.
actually makes me feel better about my answer. All right, count it down. Let's go.
All right, 3, 2, 1. What?
Damn it! Fuck!
Holy shit!
You're all wrong.
You're all wrong.
No,
I wrote the devil.
the devil.
Frankenstein.
That's Bela Lugosi is Dracula. Boris
Frankenstein was my
Karloff,
second guess.
Frankenstein. He was Frankenstein, and he was the Mummy.
He was
Nice.
giving you
Oh.
a hint by the new movie
was
because there
both?
is a new Frankenstein
played both,
movie.
yeah.
That's
There's
awesome.
also a new Dracula, so I got
Yeah.
Dracula. See, okay,
Yeah,
I almost went with Bela Lugosi, but instead I went Boris Karloff because
Okay.
I thought that was going to be easier.
The
Last.
difference is I like Dracula. I don't like Frankenstein. I can't stand that
Okay.
book.
This is the last one.
No, these guys were.
Okay. Well.
This is both film trivia and it is a horror film. There's your hint. What was the first film to show the inside of a toilet?
Oh,
He knows.
finally.
This is such a weird niche thing, you know, Mike, but
It's more that I like that film, and so I know it as a fun fact to the film, not.
5,
oh god.
4, 3. I haven't been timing it all. I've just been deciding.
Just making it up.
2, 1.
What's a psycho?
I don't fucking know, guys.
The Thing?
Bro, it's
Psycho.
That's the first movie that came to mind.
Gotta take a shot and get it. Ah.
Listen, there's an iconic bathroom scene. I figure, hey, it's my best
Okay,
chance.
so the points stand. Kyle is at -1. Michael is at -3. Dan is at -4.
Okay, I've got two questions. One's the last question, one's bonus question because it's a little more of a deep cut. You have to have seen one of the Jason movies to know it.
Ooh.
Okay, this is a little more. What was the original title of the film Halloween?
Oh, I know this. I don't know it, but I've heard this.
It's way more cut and dry about what's actually happening in the movie.
That's funny.
I am being humbled today.
I was gonna say this is embarrassing.
Mike's gonna edit out this whole.
See, yeah, I was like, editing out all the questions I got wrong is gonna be the entire freaking bit. So
Oh, you got Psycho, and you almost got Frankenstein.
I was.
Except you didn't.
The edit's gonna be like, all right, we got one trivia question. What was the first movie to show a toilet? All right, ready?
3, 2, 1.
Is this Killing Night?
No, my God, you guys are bad. This is also wrong.
The Babysitter Murders.
Wow.
That is really on the nose.
Hey,
Too
I'm
many
okay with it.
babysitters were getting murdered. They had to change it.
Oh, like what, in real life? Really?
Well, it's the same thing with Black Christmas. That movie nearly got banned because Ted Bundy was running around doing that
Doing exactly.
at the same time that movie came out, and they were like, "We can't release this movie. This is happening in real life."
Holy shit.
They released it anyway.
Good for them. Good for them.
Okay, bonus question.
Yes.
Bonus question worth how many points?
None. It's just a bonus question, just for fun.
Yeah, I mean, I could make it worth 4 points and you
You
could
can-
win.
I don't care about winning. I care about not losing right now. I have
Well,
not earned a victory.
You're gonna lose
Okay.
no matter what. So do you want
Make-
it to be worth 4 points?
I don't know if I like that.
There's
10
only
points.
one loser. 1 point. It's the bonus point.
Okay.
Bonus 1 point.
Which famous director stars in the opening of the film Jason X?
Oh, God.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, I have actually a really good guess here.
Hint: this director does act from time to time, just not very often.
What's his name?
What is that movie name?
Jason X was like,
2000,
I think it was really early 2000s. There was like space titties and everything. It was
right? Space titties.
2001.
All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Show us the money.
James Gunn.
I'm not sure.
I'm thinking director act.
I think. Wait, what were you guys?
I got Wes Craven.
Wes Craven's the closest I feel here. David Cronenberg.
Okay.
I'll take it. I'm not last.
What else is he?
So,
what is David Cronenberg?
Do you have one extra, bonus question? Because nobody got the bonus question. Do you guys got?
That's it. What? No.
You're like, how much further can these boys be embarrassed?
Okay,
or-
so the final score. Are we counting bonus question as a loss point?
It doesn't make a difference.
Matter. All three of us
Okay,
have gotten one. Yeah.
so in the lead was Kyle with -2.
Fuck you guys for that. You thought I was gonna lose.
After that was Michael with -4.
Oh no.
And then we have Dan in the final, -5.
Oh god.
From the mountain top
valiant-
to the bottom.
And so, are you ready to hear your punishment?
Ready
This
as
is
I'll
the
ever
M. Night
be.
Shyamalan twist.
What you got?
Because nobody knows the punishment except for me. To finish the podcast, Dan must do a lip sync for his life of Kate Bush's running up that hill.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
I need you to stand up and give us choreography and everything.
All right.
Okay.
Hold up.
I might need an audio track to be able
I was
to
gonna say
actually
I'm gonna need to
find
do
that.
some on-the-fly producing here. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see Dan sing just the most beautiful rendition of "Running Up That Hill," stick around to the very end, and trust me, it's so worth it. And until next time, I'm Mike. This is Dan, Kyle, Kayleen, Dylan, Cole, Black from Dead End Film House. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, check out Dead End Film House. Links in the description. You guys know what to do. And until next time, peace.
And if only I could, I'd make a deal with God, and I'd get him to swap our places. Be running up that road, be running up that hill, be running up that building. Stay if I only could. Oh. I don't know. I did Mickey Mouse, but I'll take it.